guys.
Good
It's
evening.
great to have you here with us. So you guys are from Vaxx, yes?
Yeah, we are.
So as a tradition, we always start. We ask you, tell us about yourself, and tell us about, how you end up being in the specialty coffee industry.
All right. So, am I gonna start? You gonna
Definitely.
start? Okay, I'm gonna start. So, my name is Fabio. I'm from Italy. You can probably guess from my accent, and I've lived in London for like 10 years already, and I've lived and worked around Europe. But what really brought me into the specialty industry was meeting actually the owner of this coffee shop, David. Big shout out to David, actually. I met him in 2012, and we shared. I was working in some other industry, like I was working in the bar, like I was making cocktails and shit like that. And I was sharing a stall with David, who had this really fancy coffee machine, and he was making all the latte art. I was like, what the fuck? So like, we kind of got to talk, and I really liked, because coming from Italy, I thought I knew what coffee was, and then I saw like all of the nice features, like, wow, this is interesting. And then like, I don't want to spend too much time, but that's where it started from. But I'm just gonna give the ball to Vasily. Started pretty randomly, but maybe we'll get back into the details later. I'm just gonna give the ball to Vasily, otherwise I'm gonna take up the space.
Pretty similar. I came to London in 2016 and I started to work in Tulau coffee shop, which was specializing on good coffee, good quality customer service, and it was exciting for me to start and learn from the beginning.
And I'm just gonna have an interjection. Like, initially you came here as a chef. Attenzione, yeah.
I just didn't want to mention it.
No, it's alright.
No, I'm joking. Yes.
But
yes.
then from,
So your previous
So-
background was as a chef. and
Yes,
then
true.
became-
My background, I'm a chef. So I used to work in different countries and different restaurants. And in 2016, I moved to UK. Then we started to bake. We started to introduce new salads to the customers. And then at some point, I ended up making the coffees with the baristas.
remember,
Yeah,
then
and
the rest
initially illegally, I remember, like, why is Vasily behind the bar? I remember, why is he not? I was like, "Oh, well."
because it was very exciting for me. I was like, I wanna know this stuff. I wanna learn every single piece, and I wanted to try straight away how to do latte art. And then they never allowed me behind the bar to do the latte art. They said you need to learn grinder, and then you need to do the coffee machine, and then this and other stuff. I was like, but I wanna do the latte art. So it's after a couple of months, I think I managed to learn most of this.
And well, to be honest, we were both like very much engaged in the grinder thing. At some
Yeah.
point, it was because like at some point we kind of made a point of adjusting it really, really well. So I will, before starting the shift, he will send me a picture, kind of go, look at this motherfucker.
You were
Like,
fighting between who's gonna adjust the grind.
kind of, it was interesting because like when you start your work day, kind of sometimes you kind of need to start a work day, but when we were working together, it was like, kind of, there's something like a bit fun or a bit interesting. You kind of go like, in the end, like it's like the trademark of a good quality. Like, so you guys should be happy, like we were like that, So we were all right.
When did you launch Vaxx? And tell us a little bit about the name as well, like why the name Vaxx?
Well, everybody is asking why is Vaxx. It was technically a random combination of playing words.
Yeah.
We were playing between us and between team we have, and then suddenly it popped in like Vaxx. It's nothing related to the vaccine, because during the second lockdown,
Actually, came
yeah,
afterwards.
exactly, the vaccine came after our name and the company was born. So we were quite frustrated, like, everyone was associating like Vaxx with the vaccine, which is less now. So
Or people queuing up to get vaccinated.
no, we always trying
Yeah.
to make we always trying to make a joke that we were looking for a vaccine. That's why we created that.
Yeah.
I think sometimes when you go on Instagram as well, you punch in Vaxx, and then underneath the post, it gives you the vaccine information.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately, it
It
was
was very tasty AstraZeneca.
it was one of the difficulties we faced, but that's we're gonna talk later on. But we created Vaxx all over a sudden because it was a first wave of lockdown, and we were just sitting at home. I'm talking about myself, uh, and it was boring because you couldn't do much. And then we decided, okay, why don't we try to do the e-commerce platform, so we can support at least the local area and do the deliveries via electric scooter or bicycle or just bring ourselves. And then
Especially ourselves.
yeah, and especially ourselves.
Exactly.
I agree. And then I've decided to have a phone call with Fabio. So I was,
Yeah, which it was.
I think, yeah, I was actually, I knew that he is in China.
To be honest, man, when I remember, like when you gave me the phone call, it was, I think it was, yeah, beginning of 2020. But I was at a very pivotal point in my life because I had worked in coffee. I worked here, as you mentioned, in the shop, but because I studied Mandarin and IR, which has got nothing to do with coffee, and I was a bit on what am I gonna do in my life. I didn't want to work in a big company. I didn't want to other things. So Vasily gave me a call, and I was like, man, I got Vaxx going on. We're gonna do specialty. Then you send me some stuff, and I was
Yeah.
like, fuck, you know, like.
For me, it
And-
was also interesting because I expected that he is in China. And then I called
to
him and
run
he
away.
said, well, it's lockdown and I'm in Italy.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, so what are you doing? He was like, I'm in between, I'm deciding, I don't know. And that's how the conversation starts with Fabio.
Yeah.
So then we had already in place like a marketing goals, and then we wanted someone like Fabio to have on the board.
And then you came from Italy.
Initially, I started contributing like just from Slovenia because I think I couldn't come to the UK, so writing some articles, and then at some point I came in June, I think I came in June.
It was summertime, yeah.
Yeah, summertime, beginning of June, and they were in the middle of moving out and setting up, like all of the storage and everything. So I joined in like in June, and it was, I remember I was pretty much beginning of summer, so it was a pivotal moment again, like beginning of new season, beginning of a new thing, new project with a friend. Very interesting.
Tell us a bit about social media. I know social media is obviously a big tool for a lot of businesses, most businesses. We know that Vaxx has a big focus on social media. Are there any other tools that you guys use in your day-to-day running of the business that you can share with us?
Yes, definitely. Social media is very important for us because when we started, it was a big shout. If you're starting e-commerce, it's not only about social media. It's all about having a good quality photos, having a good product, having customer feedback, and etc. So there are a lot. It's not only about the social media, but then is a lot of other questions which you need to have at least prepare a checklist on how you're gonna manage not just social media but the different social medias, because we have Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. There are some other like Telegram now is going popular. So it is a big world and it's digital, and we wanted to do the e-commerce based on to digitalize and automate our platform. In terms of what tools we are using is we're using quite a lot of AI platforms. We are using everything what can automate all the processing. Some of the stuff has to be done manually, like sourcing the coffee or making pictures or making videos. That can be done via using platforms. Again, you can use different platforms to find freelance people if you don't have a lot of budget, or you can have someone who does it in-house for the business.
There is though one tool we haven't mentioned, which is, guys said, what other tools, and the old nice fashion word of mouth. To be honest, man, regardless of like, especially for small businesses, man, like because we have had like majority was positive feedback, and we kind of relied a lot on, I mean, you guys know, man, like these places be like, I heard about this place, about the cakes, and so it's pretty like that. It's one of the tools, like, and I think I disclose the information, but there is a physical coffee shop in the making. We don't have a date yet, but That's gonna be a different, like to go from fully virtual to physical as well.
Yeah, no, the word of mouth is just as important as any
Yeah.
other technology that you can have. You know?
Yeah. You can have any technology, any AI, anything you want. But if you, so we on one of our meetings, we had a very productive chat with our team, and we decided that we need to focus not only on product and quality, but we need to engage people to leave us feedback, because it's one of the most rewarding part for the business. When your customers can spend 2 to 3 minutes, sometimes it can take longer, sometimes either is good or bad feedback, either is 1 or 5 star or 3, it doesn't matter, because if it's a 5 star, okay, cool, but if it's a 1 star, so you as a business owner, I like even 1 stars. If we receive, some people are scared, oh, we're gonna have bad reviews. It's good for a business to know where is your problem. So now you know,
Where to improve?
where to improve immediately. So
Yeah,
you know there is the problem. That's what you can fix today, or you put on deadline how you're gonna fix it.
So what about so your kind of the model is based on initially was subscription model. Do you think that model still is vital at this situation now?
Well, subscription model is always, I'm calling it always winning model. If one of the company, doesn't matter in which industry, find the ideal model, that's the winning model. If you can subscribe people, they all happy, they don't need to spend more time to remember things, and they are happy with the service, etc. However, you need to focus and be always on trend. So at the beginning we wanted to do like a hybrid model. So we are like, oh, we're gonna do retail and we're gonna do the subscription, and then we're gonna do B2B side, which obviously you can do all of them. Is like comparing social medias. But then if you do one, do it properly, then launch the second one, make a plan, make the checklist, because if you start all of them as we does, then you're gonna see the problems and the gaps which you need to solve quickly. And if you cannot solve quickly, you're gonna have bad reviews. Yeah, or you're gonna lose customers, which is moving forward. I think what was in the plans not to have the hybrid model and sell retail as well as subscription, but we are trying to engage. I think by the end of the year we'll just stick to the subscription model, where you can buy our coffee like a flexible subscription. You can cancel it after your order, but the idea, we are subscription based platform. This is how we want to advertise ourselves, and moving forward, as we are planning to open a chain of coffee shops, we have a hybrid model that we can do subscription. You buy online, but you collect it offline. That's what we are working now on, and pretty much everything is done. We are testing it now, and hopefully when we open the branch, we're gonna test it on a physical shop, if it's something what people want, or maybe the market is not ready yet, or maybe there is no trend. But the way how we want to introduce it is a lot of different benefits. So the idea of subscription online and collecting the, let's say, your espressos or cappuccinos in the shop, is every time the small business who opened the small independent coffee shop, they pay a lot of fees for each card transaction. So we know that problem, because in my experience there was a big bill for one of the company, the card machine company. They just sent us a bill. It was like over 25,000. Obviously, because of the lot of transactions, they didn't pay for a year, and there was a big bill. So definitely, some companies cannot afford to pay, in one go 25,000. So we are trying to solve this problem and some of the other problems. Like if you do one transaction, let's say via our website, you get you pay £20, but you get £25. So that amounts straight away decrease each transaction cost, because if you do 10 transactions, it's going to cost you definitely more. If you do one transaction and you have a fixed fee for each transaction,
Okay, fixed rate.
then yeah, that's why we can give you more rewards. And that's why it's almost like £5 extra, but that's the money which will go to someone else. It can go to the customer.
Yeah.
For us, it doesn't cost anyway, because it's good for a customer, it's solving the problem, and it's good for us that we can give them or free croissant or free coffee, doesn't matter. So you have that benefit as a client. And then obviously some more stuff.
It's like when, I'm not sure if it's still like that, but you know, back when, I mean, when is the last time I did a couple of years ago, but anyway, like when you transfer money, for example, from a UK account to an Italian account, you have to pay a fee of like £13. And I was like, why is, like, I mean, everything is,
Money going.
why is that? Well, like, I could buy more stuff with that, I could say that. So it's pretty much the same thing, but you make better use of that money, like, which,
So yeah, just a simple example, like if one transaction costs you 50p, you have 10 transactions, is £5,
Yeah.
where you can get that £5, and we pay only 50p on same transaction of £20.
It's great listening to the ways you guys, some ways you guys are trying to think of to reward your customers, and we know how competitive the coffee industry, especially the coffee industry now, especially over the past decade. Is there anything that you guys do differently to stand out? Is there anything, to grow your customer base?
well, we kind of try to, rather than, competing directly with all of the big guys and thinking, oh, let's see who's stronger, and then you get knocked out. We tend, like always at this thing, that we kind of try to build a niche for ourselves. So we try to kind of select coffees that are more on the like quite unique or quite particular, and we cannot try to, as Vasily will put it, to kind of not just like look for customer, kind of pick customers. So we don't want to have, let's say, 30 customers that just buy and that they don't really care or they're not engaged, but we would like to have maybe less, kind of suck them into this niche, and then kind of like just we would like to be maybe smaller but carve a little niche.
And going back to the why, is one of my favorite questions, why you are different, why you are unique. Actually, it's not about like why you are unique. We always were in like trouble answering this question, but it's not anymore, because we found what we are doing, we think is the best. That we just not going to take, as Fabio said, all of the branches. We don't want to be in each door. Instead, we find the client who has the problem, and it can be a coffee machine, it can be training, it can be other things in the business. So what we are trying to do is like we come with your business, we try to work together, we collaborate, and then we're trying to solve your current problem and increase sales, footfall, customer service. It can be different, it can be random. I don't know, all of our B2B clients, we always found what to solve, and so far it was going very well for us. And when you can help people, then you just feel better. Yeah. As a company, that that's how it works. For example, we just got another meeting with the B2B client. He called us and he said, I know that business, they told me that you helped them to open it. So we are just not random coffee supplier, that there are tons of suppliers that, we're gonna bring you coffee, here is the deal. So we just trying to come, see what's going on, solve the issue, and then we're gonna obviously continue support you and supply with the coffee and other.
So do these customers, they find you, or you guys go one by one to different coffee shops? Hey guys, we are Vaxx, we want to see if we can help you out. Or...
We tried everything. For example, especially Fabio, maybe he can tell a little bit more about, because he was kind of on sales.
Yeah.
We tried every possible
method,
exactly, but so far for us, the word of mouth is working the best.
But also you find people that are kind of a bit like you, as in people are like often starting out, they have a lot of good intention and goodwill, but maybe they don't really know anything about the industry at all. And we kind of, in some cases, we managed to, like come across as people, like rather than just, like taking advantage of the fact that they don't know anything, just say, okay, I'm just gonna sell you the coffee, just gonna try to get you my stuff. Well, we kind of go, look, say, what do you want to do? So we kind of like, we found out some people, which is that's again, it all goes back to that also picking your customer, not just getting the customers, but that they kind of understand that mentality of cooperation. So that, look, we just don't just want to sell the coffee to you. We're kind of gonna make a good relationship that is gonna benefit both of us, and you're gonna be better off. I'm gonna be better off. We're gonna be better. So it's kind of like we kind of found that usually what is it's not too many of those at the moment, because as you said, like this industry is extremely competitive. But the ones we got are all people who kind of like they have a passion for learning. They would like to improve. They understand their position and understand our position, and we kind of try our best to.
We also have one nice example, like the B2B client. He called us and he said, look, we need to open the coffee shop, but I need competitive price. I was like, okay, what's your competitive price? He gave me some figures. And then I say, okay, look, let's catch up. We discuss what you need to do. We see your branch. Maybe we'll give you some advice. And then we talk about price once you started. And he was like, can you promise me that I will have better price than this? I said, okay, don't worry, you will have better price. So I don't remember, it was around like 15 pounds or whatever. It was some average price on the market. So what happened next? We met the guy and we saw he wanted to put the coffee machine in one place. Then we said, okay, look, if you put the coffee machine this way, the grinder, we give him some tips. You probably will achieve more customers. The guy took our, advice, and his coffee shop from day one started to achieve all targets. And then he called us and he said, I don't mind about price. Charge me how much you want, but don't charge me. Yeah, he said, don't charge me 50 pounds, but everything what you need for your business, it's okay for me. He said, do your margins. So sometimes it's not about price. Most cases is about price, but people who are small and independent, they just need more support.
Yeah, exactly.
And going back to word of mouth, I think as a business, it's more rewarding when they approach you.
Yeah.
That means you're doing something right.
Yeah.
That means other people are talking about your product, the quality of the product, and going to quality of the product. In terms of when you choose your beans, green beans, where do you get it from? Do you deal directly with the farmers? Do you visit them? How do you pick your green beans?
This is an interesting question.
Yeah, exactly. We were in contact directly with some of them, but we haven't been to the farms yet. We had a planned trip, but it was not possible really.
Yeah, it's going back to what happened because of COVID. We had a plan to visit Peru, to visit Brazil, and to visit the Honduras. Then the COVID happened, so everything was cancelled. You cannot go anywhere, so you can do the online calls, but it's not the same. And then one day I was in roastery just doing some stuff like packaging, and then Fabio was on the roasting machine, I think. Yeah. So what happened? We just have a random, ring bell from the door, and there was a guy coming from that farm. We didn't know he is coming. He just popped in and he said, surprise. I was like, that's...
This is the farm.
Yeah. So we planned, and it was randomly. It's even on our journal on the website. So the guy just wanted to surprise us because we never met. We were like, oh, we are coming, and then it's cancelled. We are coming, and it's cancelled. So he said, I'm in London, and I decided to visit you. So it was really nice to see him in person. But obviously, we want to engage with them, go to the farms, and
Yeah, I think next time you'll be surprising him.
yes,
Yeah.
surprise.
Unless we show up at the wrong farm, we don't know the kind. Yeah. That will also happen. It's in Honduras, like I don't know the place.
Yeah.
So, guys, last year you guys participated in London
Yeah.
Coffee Festival.
Yeah.
Tell us more about that. How it happened, and what was the experience?
London Coffee Festival was extremely exciting for us as a new startup, as a new independent company. If you need a brand, recognition from, that's the one of the best place in London you can go for.
Also, you meet loads of people in
Yeah, you
the
meet a lot of.
industry. Like it's crazy, man. Like
It was also related to one of our collabs. We do a lot of collabs with even different roasters or with different coffee companies which are from UK as well. And one of the guys just called us and he said, "Look, I cannot go to the London Coffee Festival. Do you want to go?"
yeah, it's actually how it happened, man. Like
And we were like, "Okay, give me like 10 minutes. I'm gonna call my team." So I called Fabio, I called girls, and
Alright.
we're like, "We have 3 days. Can we do it?" Yes. So
let's go, yeah.
So it was literally 3 days before.
it was less than 3 days
Yeah.
because it was like.
It's like a destiny.
I received,
You had to
I
have
received the call and it was
We
like, is
received
at the
it-
Truman Brewery, you live nearby. I was like, okay, cool. Yeah.
Brewery, I mean.
Yeah, it's a brewery. And then I
So
realized
yeah, it was
that
crazy because we had to prepare a special blend. We had to prepare a recipe, a special drink. We had to make a setup, but it was kind of scary. And I was like, okay, I think we can do it. And they all said, yes, let's do it. So marketing, they prepared everything for us. We
Yeah.
even managed to print a lot of stuff to give out to, hey,
T-shirts.
yeah,
Yeah.
the t-shirts, everything was done in 3 days, even less. It was like 2.5 days, no?
Yeah, something like that.
So it was extremely exciting, and it actually helped us after the London Coffee Festival because we showed our product and we give a lot of giveaways
Yeah, yeah.
by doing the free coffees, and we are giving tote bags, no?
Yeah.
The free samples.
Oh, yeah,
We were engaging with the people, and then next week we doubled the sales, just because of that event.
Just the presence.
Yeah. And to be honest, we did quite well also in our corner. I think we this is not bragging, but we're the busiest.
Yeah.
And like
You were there, as far as I remember, not on trading days, or not on trade
Public
days,
day.
on the public day.
yeah, exactly. But basically, we had like a kind of a horseshoe type of bar with a few coffee machines. And I remember like our front man, it was like I felt I was in a trench, man. But instead of shooting, I was shooting coffees, man.
It was 3 of you, wasn't it?
It was
You and Anastasia.
it was 2 of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we were
I think
both
for,
on the machine.
I think for preparation of the short time, I think we managed well.
Yeah.
And
Plus, it's so exciting to use that machine, man. You know, the Marzocco was there.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it was one of the newest. It was
It's like a Terminator, but that makes coffee. Like, yeah, man. But like, it's fantastic. I forgot the model. I forgot.
KB.
but- KB. Yeah, I forgot.
KB90.
Yeah, man, it is crazy, man. Like, that's fantastic.
No, it was great to see you. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it on those days that you were there, but I was so happy and I was so proud, to hear the name Vaxx. I was going to be at the coffee festival, because going back again to the word of mouth, the reason why we like to go to the festival is to see the people we're working with.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of our suppliers are there, and throughout the whole year, you sort of you communicate with each other with emails, with phone calls, but that's that one day where you can actually go there, see them.
And then
face
you
to
bump
face.
into like something like,
yeah,
how are you?
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
the Marzocco general manager. I was like, fuck.
That's it.
I thought you were just a random guy. Like,
Yeah, you get to meet so many.
Also, you get the ones you have, and also you get new ones that you could.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just a chat, but that is, like.
I agree.
Sometimes
for us,
it's-
it was a good experience because I personally met some of the people who told me, "Oh, I am buying from you online."
Yeah,
And,
That's nice.
Yeah, and then you just see them face to face, not just somebody e-commerce and
That's
just
beautiful.
Yeah, at
Yeah.
it happened at the like when we were making coffees.
Yes.
Couple of times, like I buy from you. I was like, I never seen this guy because at some point, like you see the name because you have recurring customers, so you see the name. It's like
just repeat
create.
it.
What did you say? Give me back that sound.
Yeah.
The customers that you
No, but it's
are
pretty
they
cool,
like
though.
look alike in some ways.
I have a good, visual memory on names.
Yeah.
So if you have repeating customers, especially because of subscription, so you always remember like you don't have any favorite ones, but you always remember the same names.
And or the order as well. Like you guys know, like when somebody comes in, you see their drink on their head, like kind of. So that guy's 2 cappuccinos, 1 with chocolate, 1 without. Like so, it's
No, it was sometimes e-commerce is like somewhere, it's a digital world, but you don't know how it works from inside. And because when we launched the 1 year subscription, prepaid one, first 3 clients, all of them had the same name. It was completely different people, but they all had the same name. It was just, some stories like this makes me laugh,
And I was personally pretty happy because there were a couple of Chinese girls who were actually buying like in subscription, and I thought like, oh, you can speak Mandarin, blah blah. I was like, yeah, I've actually been with you guys for a couple of months. I was like, what? I was like, do you wanna? Because I will ask them in Chinese, you don't remember to click on our Instagram? I was like, I've been your customer for like 3 months. I was like, well, then you probably clicked on the Instagram.
Tell us a bit about your day. How does your day start and how does your day finish?
What's your day to
Yeah, you start with this.
You go
Yeah.
first.
It's sometimes it's really random. It can be a call 6 a.m. in the morning from B2B client that's like, oh, the grinder is broken, or but it can be a small issue like they just need to to dial the grinder. So there is no schedule for us right now. I'm talking about myself because the day can start early and it can finish like yesterday, for example, I finished at 1 a.m. the night because we had some things to be done in deadline. So it's pretty random. So you have a lot of calls, a lot of emails, and in the meantime we need to ship the
Yeah, there is
deliveries.
Yeah, exactly. You need to physically prepare the deliveries or like sort out your own. So we kind of try because at the moment we're like few but good, as they say. So we kind of try to cover each other like as much as we can. So it is pretty flexible. There are some days that are a bit crazy when you're busy, like doing packaging, delivering and stuff and
Do
whatever.
you do that every day, the packaging and deliveries, or?
We are trying to shift most of the subscriptions to specific days because when we started it was like every day it was like 10 to 5 20 and then is becoming difficult. Whoever
To organize.
yeah, so we are trying to shift as close as possible to the dates when all the customers have
One bulky day,
Yeah.
where you literally just do that all day, but then you're
Yeah.
all done. Like it's nice though. You see all the orders, but like just it's pretty cool. I think.
Yeah, but Fabio, mainly you're mainly based in the roster,
Yeah.
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 How does your day go?
My day is like pretty much. There's a lot of packaging involved, a lot of organizing deliveries and logistics.
it's more like routine, no?
But there is a lot of like small problems that you need to solve, as in you need to kind of tell the driver go here first, then here there, then and
So you organize the
Logistics.
as well, and then again like answering emails of people who like ask stuff. You need to kind of like there's some stuff you need to do. So for example, you need to finish all your packaging and then you need to bag all the coffee. You need to organize delivery, but in the meantime there is a lot of random stuff. So you have this routine, but there is a lot of random stuff that can come and interfere with your like literally all sorts of things. Or sometimes even people calling and saying, why my coffee hasn't arrived yet, and sometimes it's also something as simple as we haven't ordered yet. Like, oh, sorry, I thought I did. You know, like
Haven't paid us.
so sometimes sometimes it's something crazy like that, or you know, so it's pretty much like that, and sometimes doing emergency delivery without that a lot, mainly.
Yeah, so when especially new clients, they don't know how much they're gonna order. So we
Yeah.
always advise them to order more, but some small businesses they wanna, cut the budgets and then it's like random call.
I need it
In
now.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
11 a.m. Oh, sorry, 11 p.m. and it's like I have only 2 kilos.
Yeah,
And then
that's
for
crazy.
next day his average use is like 7 to 10 kilos a day, and it's Sunday.
So,
Everything is closed, roastery, delivery is like, so we need to manage it and bring him, because if we don't, he not gonna serve the client.
yeah, but same as coming out. You guys do your best to engage, like and retain people, because it's not like a big chain like a Starbucks where this is just a different mentality altogether. Like it's
Yeah, but for example, for your business is more like you talk to the client face to face.
Yeah.
For us in e-commerce, we don't talk them directly to the client, but when we have a review, for us is like that's what we want. Even if it's like 4 or 5, doesn't matter how. But if we have a review, that means that
person has taken that time.
exactly.
Yeah, kind of.
Positive feedback is.
Yeah, well, it's also
Positive feedback, and definitely if the ideal customer for us who subscribes, who open the coffee shop and buys from us, and who gives us honest feedback, and who recommends us to another.
yeah, exactly. That's the.
Yeah.
Because in the end, it means you've done
and,
something.
and yeah,
worthwhile.
when we discussed all of this, who is our ideal client, then we got a lot of answers why we need to do things in different way.
So is there anything interesting or exciting we're gonna expect something to come out from Vaxx in the next months or next few months? Anything
In the near future,
in the near future? Like
definitely we are
Near future, next 10 years.
we, we don't want to specify the dates for now, but as we mentioned
It is
before,
happening, yeah.
we want to open a shop and hopefully the chain of the shops. But the model we want to try to achieve is subscribing online and collecting offline. We don't know if it's gonna work. We want to try and test it on location one, and then we're gonna collect the feedback. We're gonna see how it works. We need to understand obviously how it's gonna work with our platform, how to integrate the till in the shop, which is offline shop, with online system. We have the inside answers, technical and how it can work, how it should work. But once it's in place, once you work with the system, then once you're testing it, then you can actually say from your side if it's working and if the customers are using it.
Yeah.
So our idea is people subscribe online, collect offline, where you don't need any downloads of the app, any reward stamps. It's just easier, and when we can solve some other problems, like I said before.
It's really exciting, guys. I think sometimes I don't know what about you guys, but there's always times where you reach to a place like it's past like already 2 years that Vaxx is there. Is there anything that you think you would have done differently if you started the Vaxx today?
Yes, I think at the beginning the focus was to engage a lot of people, and then we changed it to we don't want to make a lot of profits now. We are okay if we just cover the costs, focus on quality, focus on customer service,
And carving that
and
niche.
then we solve the issues, and then we're gonna have success.
Yeah.
And it's actually I think the second relaunch when we done it, because as I don't know if you mentioned it before, we shut our first platform for a month, and we had to relaunch it again. So when we relaunched it, then we changed a lot of policy, like how we want to deal, what we want to achieve, who is our ideal customer, how we're going to manage the marketing, and yeah, so this is from my side.
Yeah, no, to be honest, like I'm pretty much likewise, because at the beginning I remember when I was going out and try literally to ask every coffee shop they wanted to be on board, and then after like a little bit I realized that some days where I've been to a lot of like well-established space that were already with the big boys of the specialty industry, you know, like I'm not gonna mention any name, but you guys know. So I was like, maybe what was my chance of actually getting there? So then when I started kind of like we had a chat about it, when I started kind of
Yeah, I remember that day when he come back.
engaging, you know, like with more smaller ones, kind of go, you know, there's gonna be a lot of small quantities involved, but I was definitely going somewhere. Like sometimes I will walk into big shops and kind of go, what do you want? Like, are you interested? No. Like, you didn't even hear what I'm about to say. Like, they wouldn't even offer me a coffee, you know. Like, but like, so I would have probably, if I could go back, I would have probably had that chat from day one.
Yeah.
Instead of waiting
I think-
several months, you know,
Yeah.
like, what did I do with my time? You know, like,
I think the lesson from here is make your research properly,
yeah.
because once you have, yeah,
Yeah.
because if you're gonna
perfect.
knock all the doors, someone will say yes,
Yes.
but how much time you're gonna spend?
Yeah.
If you're gonna step back, make your own research, take more time, then you don't need to knock all the doors. You just need to find which doors
Yeah.
might say yes quicker.
Yeah, you get, you know, like in this area, we have like, let's say, out of the 15 shops, we have like 5 that are more on our profile, and you ignore the others, or because especially when you're like us, that our time matters more because we don't have like a staff, you know, like with, you know, like how do you say, like waiters and butlers, like just now we do everything else.
Have the right target, you know.
It's amazing,
Target
like
audience.
the fact that you guys persevered. You never kind of stopped knocking the doors, regardless with the, you know. Obviously, whenever you start something, there's always disappointments, but you never stopped. You kept going, and you see the reward.
Yeah.
And you are in this place where you're like, you can talk all about this, you know, the stories and everything.
Yes, it was a really interesting journey so far, and I remember the time. The COVID, it was successful in terms of sales in UK, but we never mentioned the outside the UK, which we're like with emotions, like we want to sell to France, to Italy, to US, we want to sell to everywhere around the world. We want to be well known. But then once we tried to do the research based on how we're gonna do it, we found that there are a lot of questions how to cover the, you know, the stupid question delivery, how to manage it.
Also with Brexit, you know, that changed
Yeah.
the game a lot.
They changed the rules, and
So
the
it's-
customers we were sending to France at the beginning, they started to complain because there was a custom charge now.
Yeah, man, like I remember. That was
And
such-
at some point we
That's
just
a
had
bad
to
feeling.
yeah we just had to stop all the, you know, outside the UK customers. We had to sit down, make a proper plan, which countries we can do, which one we cannot do. And it was a big reward after that, because all over a sudden we just randomly got a client from California, and they just text us in Instagram. So it's another tick for our social media, for our marketing goals. It was just randomly like, we want to work with you, we want to collab. Can you deliver to us? And then it was easier for us because we knew which countries we can do that.
Yeah.
Once you do first client, second client, number 10, 100, then obviously you have more information how to manage. You have more contacts who you can at
Yeah.
least have a chat about it.
You have more insight, basically.
Yeah.
of what they are doing. Yeah, more insight. Of
It's
what they are
like
doing.
it's also like, you know, the situation in Ukraine now. But the problem, they have a problem with the coffee, and we can solve that problem not because of the profits, but just because we can. We know how to manage the delivery and the customs in there. I mean, I'm talking about myself because I'm from that side.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I wouldn't be able to, for example. That's
so any event happened around the globe, if you know the trend, if you can find, you know, your call, then you can
Amazing.
you can just do it.
Great, guys. It was
Thank
It was
you.
an absolute
Amazing,
pleasure to
yeah.
talk to you guys.
Likewise.
Thank you very much for the time. We really
Thanks.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
And hopefully, hopefully, you know, in a couple of years' time, we'll sit down again. We'll do part 2 and see.
How did you end up in jail? So what happened when you were trialed? You know, like.
We don't want to see that. People come to the jail. And,
Yeah, exactly.
Right after part 1, things
Yeah.
turned out badly.
Yeah, so why are you in a penitentiary?
like suing each other.
No, no. He is talking about his side, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So what happened to you, man?
Honestly, thank you for the time.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it, and we hope things go really great. for
Same,
Vaxx
likewise,
Thank you.
guys. Yeah, thank
for
you.
the next few years.
Thank
And
you
like I
very
said,
much.
We'll do part 2.
Same
Yeah.
for you guys.
Cheers,
We
yeah.
wish you all the best
Thank you.
Yeah,
with your
exactly.
podcast startup.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
Fantastic.
yeah, we'll see how it goes in both ways.
Yeah, exactly. Fantastic. All right.